other part of his opinion was, hey, we need to go after gay marriage. Why? What's the point?
Right.
What is the absolute point of going after gay marriage? Okay, gay marriage, whether you be lesbian or gay, doesn't affect any of the other issues. Going after them, the biggest thing you're going to do is keep them from getting benefits. And all people want to be able to do is take care of their families, whichever way they choose.
Take care of the people who they love.
Yes. What's wrong with that? If we can provide that kind of care for people who are getting together, yes, let's do it. Am I a fan of the term gay marriage? No, I'm not. I'm an old guy, from a different era. I thought marriage was one way. But at the same time, I understand that love is love.
Love is love, and the whole dynamic of what a family is different these days.
Yes.
I mean, so you have people who, because they don't want to deal with, the whole relationship thing, because they've had maybe some bad experiences with men or women.
Sure.
So in a woman's case, she can go to a fertility bank and get artificially inseminated.
Sure.
Guy, he's in the position as to where he can pay a surrogate.
Sure.
I mean, so in terms of what's considered the whole traditional family, yeah, it's kind of turning on its head, and it's different for everybody. But
Sure.
Far be it for me or anybody else to say what it should or shouldn't be, because you've got a lot of traditional families which are, dare I say, pretty fucked up.
Yes, absolutely. And that's, you make a lot of good points there, and I do agree with that. Did I not think that this was not the right thing? At first I did, and now I'm like, you have to adjust. Times are adjusting. You have to adjust for this.
Correct.
Yeah. Plain and simple. One thing I like to say, I thought by people out of the LGBTQIA plus community would have come up with something better. I mean, usually they outdo us heterosexual people, 20 times over when they come up with something, But the only thing they came up with was gay marriage. I'm like, y'all should have came up with alternative. We're getting ready to do this, that.
Right. But whatever. That's turning on and use. Hey, I mean, you got people like myself. I'm almost 50. I've never been married. Never been married. Never had kids. I mean, but that's just it. Like it is what it is.
It damn sure is. And hell, I'm damn near 50 myself, and I think that's the whole thing. I'm in the middle of that generation. I'm in that generation where it wasn't this before, it is this now. Right. And in my generation, we were right in the middle. It could be this, it could be that.
Right.
I don't struggle with it, but I'm coming to terms with it.
Right.
And I can come to terms with it. It just takes some time. We got to get used to it. And we're getting used to it.
Right.
But at the same time, when it comes down to the base subject of what we were just talking about, the government has no say. Because ultimately, what this comes down to is what people are doing in their bedroom. I don't want the government in my bedroom.
Right.
Being a heterosexual male with a heterosexual female, the government, if they're not in my bedroom, they shouldn't be in anybody else's bedroom seeing what they're doing.
Correct. Or the choices. I mean, you're talking two consenting adults.
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't want the government telling me what religion I can practice.
Absolutely.
Or what religion I choose not to practice, or perhaps I don't choose any, religion, whatsoever. And I don't want those choices made by the government based on somebody's interpretation
of said religion.
Of some religion.
Yes.
That was written by some, dare I say it, some sheep herders from the Middle East 4,000 years ago.
Not even that. I mean, you bring it down to its brass taxes. We've had cults in this country.
Correct.
Left and right. The people believe in this. People believe in that. And it's not faith. It's just religion and doctrine when they usually get caught up in these things. And now it appears that it's infiltrated our government. And
it has.
That's not what needs to happen. That's why they put it in the Constitution. There should be a clear separation between church and state.
Correct.
Because church can be misinterpreted or misused. It has caused many wars. And this is not just any specific religion. I'm not focusing on Christianity, Islam, any of these others. Any of the other religions that are out there, Judaism, Buddhism.
One. Right.
Yeah, pick one. But all of them can be used to further an agenda.
Correct.
That's why it was out of the Constitution. We need to have a
separation of church and state.
Yes, because state, you make a logical decision based on the wills and the wants of the people.
Facts and science, yes, ideally.
Correct. I won't even go as far as science, because even science can go as far as being cultish.
Or used as a political tool, and if you don't believe me, just look at what happened with COVID-19.
Cool. The majority of the people, that's what they wanted. I mean, granted, it could have probably worked against us in the last election. I'm glad it didn't work out like that.
Right.
But, in some instances, and I'm not even sure it was the majority of the people during that, whatever went on during the last election, but nonetheless, if you're going to have a republic, it should be about the people. And this decision and all these things that have gone on here recently have not been about the will of the people. It's been about the will of a subsect of people. Correct. And that's what makes this wrong.
Correct. And if you look at the entirety of this here, and this is why I think that we need to kind of have a hard look in terms of our system of government. I'm not saying blow the whole thing up. However, I think that term limits are very important. I mean, because just like they decided after World War II, that okay, well, somebody being elected 4 times is probably too long, and they instituted term limits for the president. The same thing can be said about Congress, both houses, and I think also the federal courts, especially the Supreme Court, because maybe at some point in time a lifetime appointment was good, but it's just become too political and it's become too politicized. And if you look at the people who were responsible for getting these justices, appointed to the Supreme Court,
sure.
These were people, these were senators in states who had a much lower population than other states, but because of how it's written in the Constitution, each state gets 2 senators. So as a whole, you're not representing, the will of the people, just a minority. And in my opinion, that's wrong.
I would agree wholeheartedly. And then let's look at it as a whole.